Hello guys, welcome to October. It's fantastic to have you join us on this exciting journey of building the Find My Restaurant application. I hope you have been enjoying every step of the way as we have been making remarkable progress in laying the solid foundation for our project. In our previous session, we accomplished some remarkable feats together. We constructed a series of RESTful APIs for our Find My Restaurant application. We started by implementing the Add Restaurant functionality, followed by crafting an API to fetch the entire list of restaurants stored in our database. But that's not all, as we ventured further and created a mechanism to fetch all the distinct categories, be it dine-in or takeout. And as a cherry on top, we sculpted an API that lets you discover restaurants based on their category, making your search delightful dining experience even smoother. As we ascend to new heights, our journey continues. Today, we are delving even deeper into our robust backend application, Find My Restaurant. In this session, we are on a mission to elevate the user-friendliness of our app. With unwavering enthusiasm, we are set to conquer new challenges and expand our coding horizon. Now, without any more delay, let's immerse ourselves in the world of coding as we embark on this thrilling episode of the Find My Restaurant series. Grab your favorite beverage, clear your workspace, and let's code. Thank you for being here, and let's make this coding journey remarkable together. Without further ado, let's dive right into the world of code. In our previous session, we successfully created and tested several REST API endpoints. Moving forward, let's explore the next API endpoint as outlined in our documentation. Our existing APIs cover functionalities like adding, listing, and categorizing restaurants. Now the fifth endpoint involves locating a specific restaurant using its unique identifier. This endpoint is pivotal in enabling us to pinpoint a restaurant's details through its designated ID. By sending the request with a restaurant's ID, we'll retrieve the corresponding information seamlessly. To illustrate, consider the API endpoint getRestaurant/ID. With this understanding, let's delve into the coding process. So in our restaurant controller file here, let's start with comments. Add a comment, find restaurant by ID, code starts here. And also end comment, just copy paste and change ends here. Alright, so let's create a synchronous function which is exportable. So exports dot get restaurant by ID. You can name it shorter also if you want, okay? And this will require request and response parameter. Then const curly braces and inside ID variable equal to request.params. The request object represents the incoming request. The params property of the request object holds the parameter extracted from the route. The curly braces are used to destructure an object. In this case, you are extracting the ID property from the params object. You can also write like request.params.id if you want, okay? Then our logic goes inside try and catch blocks. Inside try block, let's define variable called restaurant. So const restaurant equal to function is asynchronous, so we are awaiting to get restaurant, okay? So await keywords we need to write. Then restaurant, this is our schema model dot find by ID method. This is a Mongo's method used to query a collection and retrieve documents that match the specific criteria. Okay, now our criteria goes inside this find by ID method. This method is specifically designed to find a document by its unique ID. So underscore ID field colon ID, or you can also write here request.params.id as you want, okay? And this underscore ID is the field, okay? And if you want to check, so let's open our MongoDB compass, click on connect, restaurant DB and restaurant collection. And here as you can see, this ID is an object ID. We don't need to create this ID, it gets auto created whenever we insert new document, okay? So it is object ID and the value is unique key. All documents have unique ID as you can see here, okay? And if a restaurant found, you respond with status code 200 and send the restaurant object as the response. This indicates success and provides the details of the found restaurant. And else, if no restaurant is found, then we will send response status code 404 which is not found. These status code are important. Don't forget to write status code. Okay, and send message no restaurant found with the given ID. And catch block for error handling. So log some error occurred while fetching the restaurant. And why we log this? In previous session we have learned importance of error handling. If you haven't watched our previous videos, so please go and watch. I'll give link in the descriptions. Okay, and send response status code 500 and message some error occurred while fetching restaurant. Alright, let's save this file and let's write API endpoint in our route file. So open routes folder and here restaurant route.js file. Let's just copy this last API and paste and remove these categories. After restaurant give colon and ID. Then here controller and our get restaurant by ID function. Okay, make sure to make changes. Don't just copy and paste. Okay, these little changes sometimes we missed and our code don't work. So make sure all is okay. Alright, so we done our functionality for find a particular restaurant. So let's test it out on Postman. Let's run our application in terminal. Successfully connected. Perfect. Let's open Postman. And this is our previously created API endpoint. Let's click on send to see it working fine or not. So send and everything's fine. We get response all takeout categories restaurants. Some new beginner developers still struggle to use this Postman, but it's fine. Just think Postman as a browser. This is like a Google Chrome, Firefox or any other browser. Here on this top, as you can see, these are tabs like we seen in browser. Here, let's open Octocoder GitHub. This URL is like our API endpoint. Octocoder YT is like in our project dine in or takeout that we have seen, right? Same like that, and when you press enter, then you will get response success 200. Okay, let's see in console. By the way, if you want source code, then you can take it from Octocoder GitHub. I'll give link in the description. Okay, right click, then select inspect, or you can press F12 key. Okay, then here lot of tabs you'll see. Elements. In this tab you'll get all HTML CSS code here. In console tab you'll see error or whatever you have logged in console. Okay, just explore these tabs and you will understand. Okay, then here let's click on this network tab. Here let's refresh page, and when I refresh page, did you notice here for a second they were pending and then they become 200 status code. Hope you have noticed. Let's refresh again and see pending and then success 200. And how much time it takes to load page. Here you can see all information here. Here click on JS tab and these are all JavaScript files. Let's click on image. Here we have this GitHub image Octocoder profile pic, right? So click on this image tab and see status 200, type is PNG and loading time is 0 seconds. And now if you click here and see, you'll get all information here. See request URL, then method get that we are writing for our API, and this is status code 200. You can see all this information. Developer do codes for it. Okay, just explore this yourself, try to observe it and you will learn quickly. Okay, now let's go back to our Postman. So now you understand this Postman is like browser. Here we can add new tabs, right? So it's not that difficult to understand. Try to do hands-on and you'll get used to it. Okay, so let's add new request and new name get by ID. And here our API URL after restaurant we need to write ID. So let's take ID. So let's open get all restaurant, this one. Let's fetch all restaurant, send, and we have 2-3 restaurants. So let's copy this Burj Khalifa object ID and paste it here after slash and click on send, and there you go. We get response 200 success And Burj Khalifa particular ID restaurant, we got it. So let's copy other ID. So copy this one and paste it here and click on send. And we get particular restaurant. Perfect. If we write wrong ID, let's see what we get. So let's change last two character here, give anything and click send. And we get response status code 404 not found and message no restaurant found with the given ID. All perfect. Congratulations. Let's move on to the next API endpoint. Let's see in the documentation what's next API, and sixth is find restaurants based on their ratings. For example, you want to look for all restaurants with ratings greater than equal to 4. See example here, rating 4, then you will get response all restaurants who have rating greater than or equal to 4. See, okay, let's do code for it. So let's write command first, find restaurant by rating value. Code starts here and ends here. So let's create another asynchronous function which is exportable. So exports dot get restaurant by ratings equal to async and request response parameters. Then const curly braces rating value equal to request dot params. Then our logic goes inside try and catch block. So inside try block, const restaurant equal to await restaurant dot find method rating field colon curly braces dollar GTE colon rating value, and this dollar $GTE is stands for greater than or equal to. It is a MongoDB query expression used to filter documents in a collection, specifically if a field in document is greater than or equal to a specified value, rating value in this context. Okay, and if one or more restaurants match the criteria, we will send response with 200 status code and send list of matching restaurants. Then inside catch block, we handles error. So log some error occurred while fetching restaurant and error.message and send response with 500 status code and message some error occurred while fetching restaurant. Let's do routing for it. Open route file, and here let's just copy paste this and remove ID rating slash colon rating value, then get restaurant by ratings function. That's it. Save this file, start the server, and let's test it on Postman. So let's add request, give name, get by rating value. Okay, and URL after rating, give slash, let's type rating value. We want to see the list of all best restaurants who have ratings greater than 5. Okay, and click send, and we get response 200, and we have 2 restaurants who have greater than equal to 5 ratings. We have Burj Khalifa and Taj restaurants. Perfect. Let's see if I give value 6 and send, and we get only Burj Khalifa. And if I give 3 value and we get list of all restaurants who have rating greater than equal to 3, that's perfect. As we look back at our journey thus far, we have achieved significant milestone from inserting restaurant data to fetching it and searching restaurant for particular categories to filtering by rating value. Our application's backbone is steadily growing stronger. I can hardly contain my enthusiasm for the next lecture, where we'll delve even deeper into the world of RESTful APIs, exploring how to update and delete data while seamlessly integrating them into our project. Remember, knowledge is power, and the more we learn together, the more powerful our coding skills become. If you found this video informative and inspiring, I would be thrilled if you could show your appreciation by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to Octocoder channel. Your support fuels our passion for teaching and sharing knowledge. So until our next exciting session, keep coding, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep that coding spirit alive. Happy coding, everyone.